finished my university where I study biotechnology of food, and after that I started working in group up in Poland, in Gdańsk, and I brewed there only lagers. And in this brew pub I win many competitions for brewing. And one day I go for the holiday to Czech, Prague, and one of the multi-tap I try beer, which we could try together, two captains. And that beers changed my thinking about brewing. That was my first beer, which was hopped with American hops in this style, like IPA. So I'm totally loving that beer, and that beer was from Nøgne. When I back to Poland and started my work with lagers, after my work I started reading about American hops, about IPAs, and I start mailing to Jekylls and also with Jan, who is author of this recipe. After a year of that fact that I tried this beer, I opened in Poland my own company who makes only ales, which was very happy. So after half year, when we have this company, we brewing the beers, we come to Nøgne, and with my partner in business we take the week of training with Jekylls, with Rune, who is brewmasters, and that was very valuable time for us. And when we say, after this training time, we decided that we make something together in the future. And in the April or May in this year, Jekylls come to us, to Poland, to where we brew our beers, and we brew together West Coast Rye IPA, Belgian West Coast Rye IPA.
Yep.
Really great beers. So now we make it second time, and I hope we send some good part to Norway that you could try also here. And after that we come to Norway, to Grimstad, and I make what I am dreaming, brewing with my masters, like Jekylls, the guy who brewing the beers, which changed my thinking about beer. And we brew together beer which called is Polish IPA, which is brewing in Polish hops. Like Kitty says, the most important in craft breweries people. We also believe on that, and for us in AleBrowar, the most important value is relationships. We are going whole Poland and Europe to meet in France of our beers, and we also want to understand our supplier. So one of these guys who supply us for our hops is Paweł, who is also passionate, like we love brew, he loves hop growing. So
you need to get up here. You need to get up here.
And Paweł, we are hop heads. So, but we are hop heads from Poland, and we are looking for something good varieties of hops which will play well in IPA. And Paweł helped us to found one of these varieties. Forgotten one, which is not used in Poland for many years, but he have few plants. He harvest that for us, and we could make this IPA in Poland, and then come to Norway and make it here for us, for you.
I think it's really interesting, your story about old forgotten varieties. If you share your thoughts about it, I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah, what I can say. I grow hops all my life. It's all I know from my mother's side and from my father's side. My grandparents were hop growers, so it's hops. It's in my blood. Like lupulin is in my blood, but I know hops all my life. But I discovered craft brewing last year because it was not popular in Poland. It's kind of new, and it was really hard to find something, you know, about using hops in beer. So I started to learn about it, and I discovered, you know, American hops, and I tried to think why Polish hops are not that popular in craft industry. And I understand that we do have in Poland interesting varieties, but during recent years, breweries, you know, they wanted only hops with how they call it, a clear profile, without any, like, you know, hoppy hops, like no citrusy, no other sense in hops. And I started to think what varieties we have, except for Marenka, Magnum is a German hop, and Lubelski. And I discovered that we have a lot of varieties, and I started to look for those varieties. And I found Iunga, and I smelled it, and everybody around me said, this hop is not good. And I knew, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. This hop is really interesting. It has potential. So I start to brew with my friends home batches, and first time when I smelled it, I was, wow, this hop is really good. Then I gave one bottle to Michał, and he said the same.
And after a week we make the regular production of beer on these hops.
Yeah, and we have much more interesting hops in Poland, but we need to breed it again. And I started to do it.
I think this is really I think this is really interesting, because this is a clear example of you need some individuals who really take the ball and bring the development further, making sure that things of the past, which perhaps were not so interesting at some time, that those are not forgotten, because at these days it's perhaps exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, and in Poland we have something, we have Institute of Breeding, of hop breeding, and they have something called collection. There's a lot of different varieties, forgotten, new varieties, and I went there and I asked, can I check these varieties, buy it and pick it and dry it and try it in beers? And everybody said, you're insane. And I said, no, I'm not insane. Okay, you can say I'm insane, but I want to do it, and I did it. And now I have a few kilos of those varieties, and I know we have a great potential in Poland.
So, and what is the name of the hop you used, you know, in the beer you made together?